let's talk about it. We back another Wealth Wednesdays. I told you I was gonna try to keep this segment going, and we got a repeat for the same segment back again. DJ 321, better known as Trey Boogie, or vice versa. Trey Boogie, better known as DJ 321. First time he was here, he kind of gave us a overview of how he got to becoming a full-time entrepreneur. But we're going to dig in more to that. Go ahead and introduce yourself, even though I didn't say your name.
Nah, that's cool, man. Trey, DJ 321, Trey Boogie, which was my first DJ name given to me.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's very sentimental. So, full-time entrepreneur, DJ. I have my DJ business. Also have a social media management agency, which is evolving into now website content management. So, I'll get into that a little bit later. So, like, since we last talked, bro, things been, like...
Okay, well, we're going to talk about it.
It's been moving. So, but yeah, today we're going to talk financial literacy, man, because I feel like this is a conversation. It's a buzzword. There's a lot of people that want to break generational curses, and financial literacy or financial illiteracy is definitely one of those curses. And so we're just going to get into the basics, because it can be, it might sound complicated, but once you actually get into it and you start moving within it, you'll see, like, man, I should have been doing this a long time ago. And what started for me was I was sitting in the radio station one day, and I was like, you know what? I was buying too many sneakers.
Okay.
And I came to the realization, I was like, man, I'm buying all these sneakers and I'm wearing them to these parties. People can't see them. It's not really bringing me any money or anything like that. I'm not getting booked or anything because I'm wearing...
And you might only rock them a couple of times. Like, if you're a real head, you ain't going to wear them but a couple of times.
Exactly. So I was just saying, I'm like, I wonder how rich people manage their money. And so I just got to Googling how the 1% manage their money. Do they use banks? How do they use credit cards? A lot of this stuff is out there on, like, we have Google at the palm of our hands, and I'm in the radio station just Googling everything. So
well, check it out. Let's as you're going into it, the term financial literacy. What is that? What is being financially literate?
Being financially literate just means you understand money. You have a understanding of money, or what money really is. See, we're taught we need money to survive. We need money to live. Money, at the end of the day, is just a tool. It's a resource. And now, depending on what you use that tool for, like I was using the tool to buy sneakers and clothes, which a lot of people do in a sense. So you can use money to buy freedom.
Right. And a lot of times our misunderstanding of money is what causes a lot of problems. It's not the money itself. It's because even in relationships, people fight over money. But if they knew what to do with the money, it wouldn't be a fight anymore.
It's because they don't know how to manage the money.
They don't know. Okay, so you go ahead and get into some of those keys to knowing what to do with money.
Yeah, just first thing I tell anybody, and I had this conversation yesterday, it's funny. Somebody asked me about budgeting. You know, everybody's so afraid of that word, like, oh man, I can't budget. I hate budgeting. It's so annoying. But really all budgeting is just knowing where your money is going. See, I know there's been times myself, I'm pretty sure you can vouch for this as well, we look at our bank account like, yo, where the hell all my money go?
Absolutely.
Like, what is it?
Absolutely.
You know, so we trying to figure all this out, and that's all budgeting is. Like I said last time I was here, I know exactly where my money goes every month. I can account for, my monthly expenses. I don't have surprise bills. Like, I know exactly how much my bills are every month.
Okay, so because we hear the word and we hear that we need to do that, how do you actually structure that? What are some tools, or what are some ways that you go about actually saying, I'm going to put this money here, I'm not going to touch this money? What are you doing?
That's it. You sit
simple
down.
As that.
Yeah, it's literally that simple, where you, this is what I did for myself. I met with a financial advisor, which is, he didn't charge me anything. Like, they'll meet with you, they'll sit down.
How does a person go about finding one?
Man, we got Facebook, we got Instagram.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Just want to give them all the little tools.
Yeah, we got
all these. Jewel we drop, we're going to tell you how to pick it up.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're out there. I had my guy, he hit me up. He told me he was starting his financial services. So I made sure I became a client. So, but to go back to your first question, it's just literally just sitting down, writing out all of your bills. Write out all your bills. Then look at your bank account and add up all your miscellaneous charges. Those are the charges that's like $5, $6, $10. You might have a couple over $10 here and there. Those are your miscellaneous charges. Add those up, okay?
Okay.
So now you roll down all your bills, all right? Every last one of them, all of them. Then write down how much money you bring in a month. So deduct your miscellaneous charges, deduct your bill money, and what you have left over. Now, depending on what that number is, that lets you know where you're at. So that's how you make the change. You saying if you're in the red, okay, I need to do some with these miscellaneous charges, and I need to look at and see which bills I need to scale back on, cut out. When I was doing this, I had Netflix, I had Hulu, I had Sling TV. I was paying like, man, $50 something, and then the internet. So all of that came to like $80 a month. So I cut Netflix, I cut Hulu, I cut Sling TV, and I just went straight YouTube. And I cut back on watching TV. So
I don't even watch TV.
Those are the things, and people are like, man, I gotta watch my shows and all, you know. Look,
I promise you, once you start, and I'm gonna just like I mainly just look at YouTube. Mm-hmm. Once you start getting other information, and you can decide where you're getting information from, yeah, a couple of TV shows is cool, but I don't watch TV.
That's fine, but if you're trying to get to a certain point, I'm not saying you gotta cut it forever. I cut it for a few years. I wanted to put myself in a position where okay, I'm stable, but also my money is growing at the same time.
Okay. So
these sacrifices, they're not forever. So I just want you all to know where your money is going, and you know, so you don't have to look at your bank statement and be afraid to look at the amount due, or be afraid to even print the receipt. So yeah, just sit down, write out all your bills, add up your miscellaneous charges, and then put down the amount of money you bring in every month. Deduct those two things, and that's where you're at, and you'll know where to make the change at.
Right, and I understand. Look, it's hard. One of the hardest things, even if people don't realize it, is to admit that they don't know what they're doing with money. Mm-hmm. Whether you're making a little bit of money, see, it's easier to kind of get away with it when you're not making much at all.
Right.
But some people are making decent livings, decent salaries, or whatever, even in business, but that still doesn't mean they know what to do with the money. I heard a phrase, I think it was Jim Rohn or maybe Zig Ziglar said, if you get $1 million today, it's best you become a millionaire. Meaning that it's the mindset. The money doesn't make you a millionaire. It's knowing what to do with it to stay a millionaire, keep the money that makes you the millionaire. You know.
You know the phrase. It's not about how much money you make, but how much you keep.
Yes, sir.
So, and that's in a sense, people think naturally, okay, I need to make more money. But if you make more money, you're gonna spend more money. If you're already struggling with the amount of money you're trying to manage now, what makes you think you can manage more money? Right. So you have to learn how to manage what you have now in order to grow to that next level. And so each year, my income has grown to another level because I know how to manage what I have right now. So once you get that under control, then you'll level up and you'll start seeing an increase in not just saving money, but also your income as well.
Okay, now even with that, okay, once a person gets their budget down, right? Once they take the time to do that, and they realize, okay, I do have some extra money. I ain't gonna even call it extra money. I do have some money left over. Right. As far as investing, do you do any of that?
Like, yeah, I have a mutual fund. I have a Roth. I did have a stock portfolio, but I kind of slacked back on it because I wanted to build up the retirement funds. Okay. But I'm definitely gonna get back into it because my brother and my mother, they're like, man, they're so heavy into it, bro.
Yeah, I'm messing with this. Yeah. Okay, with your mutual funds and your Roth, what platforms or what are you using to get TD Ameritrade? What type of company are you going through?
For my mutual fund, I use American Funds. Okay. And then for my Roth, I use Primerica through my homeboy that has his financial services. I went through him.
Because you get like the life insurance and everything.
Yeah, I got everything. Yeah, I got life insurance through them. Yep. So, and we sat down and he came up with a financial roadmap. And this is why I advise sitting down with the financial advisor and going with them, because they'll sit down with you and you give them your income, your expenses, and they'll draft up a roadmap. You know how much He has a goal income for me. How much if I invest in this? How much it'll be over 30 years? Things of that nature. So it's literally like he even got a plan for me to pay off my student loans.
Wow.
Yeah. So and the thing is, we don't have to do this by ourselves. So,
but nobody teaches us this. We're financially illiterate, not on purpose, not that we chose to be.
Right.
It goes back even before us. Mm-hmm. Even, most people that I know might have at least that one family member or one set in their family that has the money. Mm-hmm. Or is the one that, that's the aunt that got the money. But nobody ever talks to them to find out, how did you get that?
Yeah.
You got a couple houses, you traveling, you always shopping, doing this and that. How did you do that?
Right.
We kind of stand back from that.
Yeah.
A lot of times we stand back and they'll call them bougie or they think they all that. Like, no, we should be asking. But on the flip side of that too, nobody teaches us as a culture how to use money properly. Because we're always behind the 8 ball, so every bit we get, we scramble it. We scramble it.
Playing defense.
Yeah, always playing defense.
Not playing offense, but that comes. Also, we are taught. We taught through what we see in music and movies. We see this lifestyle, this blow a bag and get it right back. Please don't do that, y'all.
Please don't.
Please, it don't work like that. When you blow a bag, like you'll feel it. It doesn't come. It doesn't come right back.
Y'all blew them stimmies. they might not give enough stimmy.
Man, look, I can't even hold a stimmy, and it's not that I'm blowing it or anything. It's just like a charge come out here, and I'm like, you know what, whatever. Go. But yeah, I mean it happens. But but yeah, I advise sitting down with a financial advisor and getting assistance because I don't have all the answers. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I do. Sometimes I have questions, and I gotta schedule a meeting with him as well. So just to catch up on him, catch up on some things and let him know where I'm at right now. So, but we don't have to take this on our own. If it's a lot, I tell all my friends, hey man, here's my guy. He does financial advising. So talk to him.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna get your number. I'm gonna get the number from you. That's real talk. Because along with that, it's the willingness to be transparent. Mm-hmm. When you sit down with somebody and let them know this is what I'm working with, it's gonna show if you. We have an image we keep up.
I don't know why though, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a fact. People have an image they keep up.
Right.
But once you pull that curtain back, and some people don't want to face that fear because they're gonna feel like it exposes me. Yep. But you need to expose bad behaviors.
Yeah.
You need to expose that to somebody that can tell you, you spending too much on chicken nuggets. Mm-hmm. Stop eating so many. You probably want to cook some. Just give you basic advice on where you're. At least tell you where you're doing it wrong. Right. It's up to you whether you do it right or not. At least point you in the right direction.
That's all they do. They just point you in the right direction, and I don't know why we wear this image on. Just this image we gotta upkeep. I was reading. My favorite book is The Wealth Choice. Dennis Kimbrough. Okay. He had an example of a high income earner who had the latest high end brands, luxury car, house. But if something were to happen and she lose her job, she loses everything. She's literally like one check away from being on the street.
So you can be making 6-7 figures and still be paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. When I first met with my financial advisor, he was like, "Man, you are in better shape than my clients that make $400K."
Wow.
Because they make all this money, but nobody tells them how to properly manage it. So they go out, they get the house, they go get the high end car, the high end suits. That stuff costs money.
Maintenance taxes by itself.
Man, property taxes. Like you said, maintenance. So that those things add up, and you have to make those decisions. Now, I'm not saying don't go out and get nice things, but when you get to a certain point, then delay gratification.
And as someone said, if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it once.
Exactly.
If you can't afford 2 pair of J's, don't buy 1 pair of J's. It's simple math.
Yeah.
And hopefully this comes across in a helpful way because a lot of us, we didn't grow up just automatically knowing some of this stuff. And as we speak, I'm learning too. Because we weren't just given this information. I'm gonna jump in. You spoke about the book by Dennis Kimbrough,
Right.
and I noticed it was something you've been doing recently. I looked up a stat and it says millionaires on average read 2 to 3 books per month.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing something recently. I don't know if you've completed it yet, where you were reading 50 books.
I'm on, what am I on? 12. I'm reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. And that is a read.
That's a
so
book.
yeah, it's a read. This is week number 2. I got 2 more chapters left, so I should have finished it Friday. But I just didn't.
You was moving around, man.
Yeah.
You was moving around.
I try to read at least 2 chapters a day. But yeah, millionaires on average, they read a lot. What actually inspired me, I was working out at Strong Temple a few years ago, and Eric Thomas was talking
What's up,
about.
Gene?
Yeah, what's up, Gene? Eric Thomas was playing, and he was talking about how he met Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett reads 6 hours a day, and he makes his decisions based on what he just read. And then he said, "We'll go off and make decisions after we watch Sports Center." Yo, I felt that.
That's
I felt
real.
that. I was like, "Yo, that you know what? I gotta make some changes."
That's real.
So yeah, man. I read a lot, and I don't know. I'm trying to learn the connection, but whenever I actively read, bro, my income goes up.
Okay, well, give out some of the books you've read.
So far that I read this year.
Y'all take some notes. We trying to give you some good nuggets. Take a couple notes.
Let's see. Man, Rick Ross' book Hurricanes. That's a good read.
Okay.
I read Coretta, the book on Coretta Scott King.
Okay.
Learned a lot about her, man. She was phenomenal. I wish we learned more about her growing up, you know, alongside
just Dr. King.
Yeah, than just Dr. King. Man,
Okay.
she was definitely phenomenal, especially after when he was assassinated. You know, she did a lot of great things. She kept his momentum going.
She was really instrumental in getting him having a day.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, she was in the 80s. I think it was 87.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the
With
holiday.
around Reagan
Yeah,
era. Yeah.
because the holiday is not. I think it's like a little over 30 years old. So yeah, Coretta. Oh man.
I'm gonna shout out some business books while you think.
Yeah.
Just
go
the
ahead.
basics. Anybody getting in business, these are some of the basic books that most people would tell you to read. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, Richest Man in Babylon, Who Moved My Cheese, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff.
I keep seeing Who Moved My Cheese.
That's a good one. It's a short read, but I read it years ago. I need to reread it actually, but I read that like, man, maybe 20 years ago, man.
Another book I read was Ways of the Superior Man.
I caught part of that. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Read.
I need
Yeah, I
to
encourage
finish that joint.
all men to read that book. It's just it's a mixture. But we talking financial stuff, man. You laid it out right there. Richest Man in Babylon. That is a good read. It's a fictional.
You have to pay attention.
You definitely have to pay attention. The whole pay yourself first, and that they speak highly on that, and they talk about people that splurge their money, their earnings, their gold. They talk about that. I read the book on Madam C.J. Walker, her autobiography. Black Fortunes. They highlight 6 people that came from slavery and built up their fortunes after slavery. So that is a great read as well.
And I'm into biographies too, man. Even some of the celebrities, because what we need to realize is, and I'm not saying there's nothing special as taken away from them, but they're no different from us. They're people that had a vision, had a dream, faced some type of adversities, but just didn't stop. They didn't stop seeking resources. They didn't stop going after opportunities until they got to the place that they're at.
Right.
But a lot of them started out, some of them in worse situations than us.
Rick Ross book, man, it was very relatable, because here's a guy in Miami, born and raised in the streets, got into the drug game, transitioned to music. He put in his book when he got his advance and his show money. Mind you, he was getting like $20,000 a show when Hustling came out.
Yeah. Even back then?
Yeah, when Hustling blew up, he was doing, man.
He was already making 20.
He was making about $20,000 a show. He said he stacked everything. He didn't spend his advance money. He didn't spend his show money. He saved all of that. So you thinking, man, this dude's sitting on a lot of money, and that's how he was able to get the Wingstops,
make the moves,
the Checkers, the ride. See, you make those short sacrifices. It's not a forever thing. You make those short sacrifices so that you can live how you want to live. And that's exactly what he did. Now he's in his position where, man, y'all seen his house in it.
He don't gotta put out. It was coming to America. He don't have to put out another album in his life, and he's good.
He works when he wants to, and that's what I always wanted to position myself as. Like I work because I choose to. Like I start my business and I create my business does not revolve around my life doesn't revolve around my business. My business revolves around my life.
Okay, well let's get into some of what you got going on, because you were here just not long ago,
right?
But you said some things have even progressed since then. So let's talk about that.
Man, so I added website content management because I built all my DJ website, my 321 radio website, my TP group website. I built it myself, and so as a graduation gift for a friend of mine, she started a spa type business where she do facials and wax and stuff like that. Okay. And so she graduated from school in January. So I said, you know what? Instead of getting you a bottle or something, I'll build you a website. So got the domain, boom boom, got the hosting, put it all together, and I sent it to her. She was like, you know, she was very grateful, thanked me and all that stuff. And then she was like, how much you charge to maintain it?
And see, somebody would miss that and be like, nothing. She just gave you an opportunity. You have to see them when they come. Oh, I can get paid for this. Okay, keep going.
But see, that's my boy called me a mastermind, but like that's how
it's almost like a Jedi mind trick.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've done it. I've done it in radio. I've done it with DJing. I've done it with my managing social media pages. Like that's Gary V, man. Jab, right hook. You know. Give it out for free, and then so now I'm not getting a one-time fee. Now I'm getting monthly.
Man, that's
So
these are opportunities you're just creating, but you're doing it from what we were talking about earlier, knowing what to do to put yourself in that position.
I always tell people, look for a need in the marketplace. When you start a business that people need, business will gravitate to you once you get established. I always do a few freebies here and there because you gotta have your portfolio first. So start off doing the free work. You ain't gotta do it all the time. Just get like 2 or 3 people, knock it out, boom, get some reviews, and put it out there.
And hit the market.
Yeah, hit the market.
Based on their reviews and correct what you need to and put it on out there.
Yeah, because businesses need websites, and they don't have to be extravagant. It's just something that's user friendly that people can access.
It's a landing page.
And that's pretty much what they need. And so I noticed a need in the Roanoke Rapids area with certain business owners. And so best believe the pitch game is about to be on.
And even some over here. Look, some of y'all need websites whether you know it or not. So I'm telling you, here's a resource.
I'm here.
People who make websites, we have one right here.
Yep.
Okay. What else you got, man?
Man, I'm back on the road.
Okay.
Traveling like you, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Just came back I went to Vegas last month, and then I went to Cali, the Bay Area. It was amazing. And it was funny while I was there, made some money too.
Okay. So talk about like what you.
Just a couple of my clients, the payments came through. It was first of the month.
See, that's the type of money you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with depending on what mind frame you're from. There's nothing wrong with punching the clock if you're fine with that. Because, believe it or not, sometimes those of us that aspire to just work for ourselves and build a business outside of corporate America, sometimes you get ridiculed for that. Like, everybody ain't meant to own a business. But okay, why be offended at that? If it's not for you, keep it moving. I forgot my thoughts, so you keep talking. But that did make sense.
So it's like I said in the previous, video. I wanted to have a venture where I could work it anywhere, and that's how the TP group came about. So even when I'm in Cali, I had my laptop and was knocking out work. And that's why I get up early. I get up early, do my morning routine, and I knock my work out early. I got the rest of the day. So days like. It was a Thursday that I went to the Bay Area. Okay. So the workload was light. Knocked that out real quick. Hit the road. I was in Sacramento. Sacramento's about an hour and a half from the Bay Area. Hit the road, man. It was beautiful, man. So I encourage anybody, go out to the Bay. San Francisco, Oakland, man, it's a vibe for real.
It's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful world, and some of y'all are starting to move around, but move around more.
Yeah, I saw a lot of black people in the airport, especially in Denver.
Yeah, move around.
I had a layover in Denver. There was a lot of black people there. A lot of black people leaving out of Raleigh-Durham Airport, Sacramento. So it was dope seeing people like me actually getting out and catching these flights.
Yeah, man.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much, man. Just adding on different services that people need, and as an extension, my main focus is still social media management, but now as a sidebar, I can put together your website, or I can make changes to your website. I have a client that I'm working with now. I made changes on her site, so it's progressing mighty quickly. By the way, I'm only in year 2, so. Man, it's definitely just trying to just brace myself for what I'm asking for.
And do you have like clients at different tiers or whatever?
Pretty much right now everybody's along in the same tier. As far as like price wise, I'm still waiting on that premium contract I told you about. Still waiting on that to come through.
Okay.
And I'm just aligning myself to get a couple more. And see, this is the thing about money. A lot of times, I've seen people say, "Oh, $100, is not money. $200 ain't money." But bro, if you got 5 people paying you $200, that's an extra $1,000 on top of what you're already making. If you have even if you charge them $100, you got 5 people paying you. That's extra $500 a month. Think about what that can do for you. So I would say just change your relationship with money. Stop looking at $100. Oh, that ain't. That's like $20. Okay, well.
And we and along with what we're talking about, we have to expand our knowledge of ways to get money too. Mm-hmm. We're taught and we see growing up, go to work.
Yep.
Go to work. That's really one of probably millions of ways to make money, but we're only shown one. We might hear about it here and there. And even along with what you're doing is seen as the exception, not realizing that we all can do this. And it's not as complicated. Like you said, you had to sacrifice up front.
Yep.
But now, how old are you?
36.
You 36, and for the rest of your life, you can move it the way you want to.
Yep.
Just by taking a little time to say, I'm going to cut these things out for now.
Yep.
I probably got to back up from a few people, depending on what your circle is. I got to back up and what they got going over there. I love you. But I got to get over here. Yep. Just for a little bit. And if y'all still love me, you'll understand what I'm doing. And we can link back up and have a good time together when I get there. But I got to get there first.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to be disciplined and willing to sacrifice. I heard somebody say it's greater later.
It is. But like you said, discipline. That plays a key role, especially in financial literacy when you're trying to save money and learn about money. You got to be disciplined. I recently just went a whole year. I set aside money. It was a small amount. It was $50. I didn't want to touch it. It was an experiment. I like to do experiments on certain things to see what work and what I don't like and what I do like. And so I was like, let me just set aside $50 a month and not touch it at all, completely. That I've never done that.
Okay.
So I was able to do it in 2020. Set aside that amount of money, and it was in a high yielding account. So I didn't have $600. I have $900.
And I'm glad you said about a high yielding account, because I do that with my stock accounts. I have a certain amount I automatically invest weekly, and I don't mess with it. And investing in stocks and things of that nature is not as complicated as you may think if you're willing to do just a little homework.
It's a lot of YouTube videos that break it down how to invest. Like that's how I started. I started actually learning about it before there was a YouTube, because I would read books and stuff about it. Yes, I'm a visual learner, so I like to and they break it down to common denominator. But the thing about investing is the stock market wasn't created to build wealth. It just happened to make a lot of people rich and wealthy.
Right.
But I think the only anomaly in it was Warren Buffett. You know, he invested long term, but over that time, companies got bought out for millions, and that's how he pretty much earned his millions or earnings.
Even when he
went up,
I forgot what the exact number was, but when he bought Coca-Cola, I think he said he only raised it 1 penny, and that made him a certain amount of millions just by raising the price of each drink by 1 penny.
50 Cent and his vitamin water deal. You know,
I was just watching something about that the other day.
Yeah, so it's just you know, investing in these companies early and holding your money. And I mean, somebody just recently got bought out. I'll use the example of Apple buying Beats by Dre. That made LeBron James, you know, tens of millions of dollars. You know, and he's an investor with Beats. So it's just a matter of, you know, these things do happen. It was one, I think Body Armor got bought out. I missed out on that one.
You was investing in it?
I thought about it. Somebody told me to.
Man.
Yeah. Or GameStop. My brother was going.
Oh, that one would have been crazy.
My brother called that, man. My brother told me like, yo, GameStop is like $4. Which, you know, I want to get it. I was like,
yeah, you would have been out of here if you had caught that.
Man,
I probably wouldn't even be talking to you right now. You'd be on a yacht somewhere.
I read a 12-year-old mother bought him. She spent $60 worth of stocks, and they made like $5,000 off of it. $60 and flipped it to $5,000. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, the stock market game is however you want. Like, these things are all however you want to play it.
But even before spending your money in doing that, you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah. In
the education, because you won't know how to do any of this. Question: How do you feel about taking courses and things of that nature? Because there's a lot of them out there.
It is a lot of them out there. A lot of them are scammy. I would definitely say do your due diligence, because people definitely will scam you. The course could be some BS. It could just be something you learn off of Google, but you pay $300-$400 for it. Typically, if it ends in a 7, it's a scam. So the course might be $397, $297. Yeah, a lot of them end in 7s, bro. It's always a 7.
You just taught me so I didn't know. I got to pay more attention to that.
It's either $197, $297. It always ends in a 7 for some reason. I watch a lot of scammers get exposed. So
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a little nugget for y'all.
I wouldn't say do a course. I would just say just read the books. Check out the I was gonna say newspaper, but check online news. You know, Yahoo Finance.
Make it fun. Once you know what you're really trying to accomplish, it becomes interesting. At first, you're going to look at a page, especially if you're looking at any type of financial thing, it's just going to be a lot of numbers. It's not going to make any sense. But once you start educating yourself to it, it'll become more fun because you'll know what these numbers are doing there and know what you can do to control what is happening with these numbers.
Yeah.
But it all comes with education. Look, have fun, have your downtime, but don't let your downtime be the majority of your time. Come on with it. What else you got?
And I think we have to allow ourselves to fail.
Talk about that.
Because how would you know something doesn't work or does work? You know, we're so afraid of failure. We're so afraid of messing up. You know, I had somebody tell me they're terrible at budgeting. And so I broke down what I did, and she was like, "That sounds so complicated." She was like, "But thank you though, I'm gonna try." But it's a mental.
So she was already counting herself out.
Exactly. So when you already count yourself out mentally, then it's gonna actually come to fruition. But you have to keep trying. You give that person that treats you like shit multiple tries. Give yourself multiple tries at saving money.
What do you think the name WD-40 comes from, or the cleaner 409? It's called WD-40 because he didn't get it right until the 40th try. It's called 409 because it took 408 times getting it wrong before they got it right on the 409th time. That's the reason why those things are called that. Wow. That's not a lot of information that might just be put out there, but that's a good example about persistence. It could have been, what if they stopped at 407? Or what if he had stopped at WD-30? We wouldn't have had WD-40. Keep going.
Yeah.
Persistence.
Yeah, allow yourself. It's okay to fail. It is okay. Because on the other side of failure is success.
I was going to say you have to have failure to have success.
We fail our way to success. I mean, when we work out till we're
failure.
Till failure. So you have. I mean, it's just the law. It's just the law.
And I like that. And I think we need to keep more in on failure. We make success this big glamorous thing. Right. No, I want to fail more. And that sounds crazy. But a lot of this stuff, when you experiment, even with me with some of the stuff I do, you have to experiment with it first. So that means I have to fail a couple times first.
Yeah.
I have to see what I don't do right. How the mixture not supposed to be first. And then I perfect it. And you perfected it. And you take pride once you've known what not to do. And once you've taken those steps to get to what to do, now you can teach somebody.
Yeah.
And you can help them avoid the pitfalls because you've already taken the test to get to the right way to do it. I hope that's making sense.
Hence why we're having this conversation.
Come on.
So, yeah, I mean, I seek failure. I seek challenges because those are the two things that's going to help you grow. Trust me, I make mistakes all the time. I fall off. I get back on. But the one thing I always do is I keep going. It's the same thing with weight loss. I've been doing an experiment. This is day 299. I'm experimenting with doing body weight workouts and eating differently. And so now I'm down a shirt size where I'm wearing. I can wear
rather sleek. I see.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this shirt is big on me, but I need to get a medium now. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't always easy. Some days I just didn't want to eat right. I want to eat a pizza.
But you hop back on. You hop back on.
But I figured out a way to find something that works for me. I may cut those foods out, but I can still get them every now and then. When I went to Cali, of course I didn't stay on my regimen. You
better eat something. Yeah, you gotta experience that.
I kind of stayed within it. I tried out all the vegan food. Cali has great vegan food. And I didn't fall off the wagon too much. So by the time I came back, it wasn't like I had to get back into it. I was still in it. But that comes from dedication. That comes from being disciplined and being consistent and failing.
And here's another thing that I just thought of. Earn your leisure. And I'm not, hold on, I said that wrong, but that's somebody else's slogan. Yeah. So I'm not using it in their way. What I'm saying is discipline yourself and say, I'm not going to do this until. I got a pair of shoes I'm going to buy, but I'm going to be disciplined right here. That way, when it's time to buy them shoes, you feel good about it. And you don't feel that buyer's remorse because you've been disciplined and you've done everything you're supposed to do, at least tried to, and worked your way to earn that reward. Yeah. Instead of just every paycheck. Oh, this on sale. Let me get that. Oh, I work this week, so I know I'm gonna get another check that week. It's a vicious cycle that keeps us.
Yeah. Then you financially hung over. Then you don't want to check your bank account. You don't want to print that receipt. So, but it's crazy how and I've said this before. Discipline spills out into other aspects of our lives. So me being disciplined with working out and eating right also tied into with how I manage my money, how I run my businesses, how I live my life. It just affected all different aspects of my life in a positive way. And it starts with discipline. It starts with up here. You get that mental game right. Change your view on money. Change how you feel about money, and it all starts right here. If you don't change this, then you're gonna keep having the same old.
Money is not the root of all evil.
Nah, the love of money is the root of all evil.
And some gonna disagree. People debated me on this. Yes, the scripture says. Yes, they try. I'm nice at it, so stop.
Right.
But I'm gonna add something to it. The lack of money is the root of all evil. Because think about this: when people don't have money, they'll rob you, they'll steal, they'll kill because they don't have it. Not because they love it, but because they need it. Their kids hungry, or just because they want to do some damage. It ain't so much because they love the money. They want it to do whatever. They might want it for drugs or whatever. But because they don't have it, they do evil.
You said the key word lack, and we operate with the scarcity mindset a lot of times instead of moving with the abundance mindset. There's money.
Talk about that.
There's money
Get into that some more.
We've been on what we dealing with COVID for over a year now, right? No, the money hasn't stopped.
I know you have too. I've seen so many creative ways of making money since COVID. I'm like, wow. It's crazy that it took a pandemic to spark this, but the creativity that I've seen in the last year has been ridiculous.
I mean, you look at somebody like Jeff Bezos. His net worth went up damn near 100 billion. Like I'm not million, but 100 billion.
And just think, prior to that, he had just got divorced and lost half of it.
Lost half, and
doubled it back.
He made
in a pandemic.
He made his ex-wife the richest woman in the divorce.
Now, y'all made his ex-wife because them packages be coming 2 or 3 times a day. Y'all made her rich. Y'all tripled his wealth.
Yep.
Why not do it for yourself? I'm being silly, but he's simply serving a purpose. You want a tea light candle burner. You want a camera. You want a microphone. Whatever you want. He's really just a middleman.
He is, because he's allowing sellers.
Y'all don't even know that. He's just a middleman. He don't sell. I ain't gonna cuss. He don't sell anything.
Nope.
Really, you know.
He don't sell. He was selling books. That's how it started.
Started with selling books.
Selling books. Then he made it a global marketplace for people to sell things. He just housed the website.
He just housed the website. So he just feel the need. So that ties into possibly like purpose and feeling a need, or just pay attention. That's all you have to do. Pay attention to what's going on around you. What are your friends talking about? If they ain't talking about nothing, change your friend circle.
Oh,
I'm gonna say that again.
Yeah.
If they're not talking about the same types of things you want to talk about, it's okay to change your circle.
Yeah.
I want to talk about people. When I meet up with the people I like to meet up with, yeah, we're gonna chop it up, we're gonna laugh. But I want to talk about what plays we trying to make, or what information you might have come across, what information I might have come across. That's the type of conversation I'm into, because that's going to help me. I heard something earlier says your conversation determines your compensation. Mm-hmm. The type of people you're interacting with is going to determine where you go next.
Yeah, your circle determines your paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's countless, phrases and sayings, but your circle does play a role. That's why I suggest getting a financial advisor, because you're gonna need somebody in your circle that you can call and ask questions and that they're knowledgeable on. You shouldn't be the smartest person in your circle. On paper, I may not be the highest earner in my circle. Like, I got guys that make 70 to 100,000 on paper though, but I don't work 8 hours a day. So when you're looking at things relatively, it's like we kind of up there, but
relatively, your worth is your value to the world is more, not taken away from them as a person, but because you're able to offer more, because you're not tied up for 8 hours to get your money. You can do what you do and be free if another opportunity comes open during the day to take advantage of that if you want to.
Right. And see, they have certain knowledge and skill sets that I don't have, so I always go to them.
I believe it was it Andrew Carnegie or Henry Ford? One of them. Y'all don't quote me on it, but do your Googles. But it was one of them. They realized they didn't know everything, how to build this and do that, so they just hired everybody that did.
That might have been.
I think it was Henry Ford.
I was about to say that it was one of.
It was one of the two, I believe.
I want to say it was Carnegie.
It might have been Andrew Carnegie.
Yeah, because he created delegating, and Henry Ford created the 40-hour work week.
The plan. Yep. He did. A lot of these little nuggets y'all don't know. Yep, he created that.
He sure did. So he's the reason why y'all work 8 hours a day. Which is, I mean, that's fine. Totally fine.
It's an antiquated system.
But
it's an old system.
I just think we shouldn't give our best lives. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and if you love your job, good. And that's the last time I'm gonna say that.
Nah, we're not talking to y'all.
Yeah.
We
talking to the other people.
Talking to other people. I don't know. I just think living our great lives between 20 and I guess 50, you would say. We're spent 40 hours a week at a place. A lot of times we get burnt out, we get overwhelmed. I think there has to be another alternative.
And when I knew I wasn't built to just work for somebody, I found it out early. Is because I was offended that they said that I had to be like 65 to retire, and I'm like, who has the right to tell me that?
Right.
Like, I want to determine when I retire. Even when just people in general talk, it's still a mindset that you can't retire until you're 65. Who said that? Why do we accept this? I want to retire by the time I'm 50. No, let me take that back. I'm going to, but it's going to be on my terms, not somebody else's terms, because they say I got to stay here 20 years and get a damn watch.
Yeah, I read this book, Millionaire Fastlane, and he challenges the whole retire at 65 and things of that nature. So that's another good read as well.
Say that again. What's the name of it?
Millionaire Fastlane.
Millionaire Fastlane.
Yeah.
Y'all look that up too, because I'm gonna definitely check it out.
Yeah, he challenges like the stock market. That's how it was him that said the stock market wasn't made to make people wealthy. Stock market was created to make money, and that people made a lot of money in the stock market. So yeah, that is a lot of times what we're taught, what we heard so much growing up, it's challenged, and so we get offended, and so we have to unlearn a lot of those things. When you become an adult, you have to unlearn and then relearn, and we all have to go through that process.
And it's okay to do it.
Yeah, it's fine. It is okay, especially when you've been exposed to an alternative.
Yeah, one of the most freeing things you'll ever say is "I don't know," because it opens you up to know.
Yeah,
acting like you know. Yeah, it might impress people around you, but it harms you because you still got to live with the fact that you don't know. And that you have to remove that, whatever it is, ego, pride, insecurity, whatever it is, you have to face that and just say, I don't know, can you help me?
That's why I said earlier in the show, it is okay to get help. It's okay to go to a financial advisor. It's okay to go to your friend that's great with money. If you have that in your circle, ask them questions. I don't mind helping out either. I've had people ask me questions, and it's literally like you said earlier, sitting down and figuring out where you're gonna allot money to. That's literally budgeting. You sit down. Okay, here's my bills. Here's the miscellaneous charges. And there's probably some more intricate things that but I'm just keeping it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Here's how much money I make. Here's what's left over. Okay, here's the changes I need to make. So I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna stop going here. So, or I'll take whatever I spend this money in miscellaneous. I'm gonna put that in a travel fund. Or I'm gonna, you might have to go old school. Get the envelopes. My mom used to do that back in the day. Gas, food, what else? Pocket money. What you call it? Petty cash.
One of my daughters to do it. She ain't never do it though.
Yeah, so I mean, you might have to go old school with it. I mean, it's just all about experimenting and finding out what works for you. But ultimately, before you even get to that point, you have to work on this, get this together. And
I talk any of my friends that come to me and talk about either starting a business or in business. I think they think I'm a little off of what they're trying to do when they ask me certain questions, and I direct them to a particular podcast that talks about the mindset. And they probably like, but I want to make money. They don't understand that getting into this, you have to totally reprogram your mind.
Yes.
About a lot of things that you think is okay. You just think it's okay now. But once you start reprogramming your mind, you'll realize I have to do this to attain the things I say I want. It's a total mind transformation that you have to go through. So I suggest, okay, start watching this particular podcast or read this book. And they won't do it, and then they'll come back to me with the same frustration. And I'd be like, but I told you what to do. It's the same thing I've done. And if you look up to me and think I'm somebody special, well, I'm just telling you what I've done. I love you.
And I think a lot of times what we see in the media and on social media, these scammers. I use a recent one. This guy Hush Puppy. He recently got locked up for.
Good gracious.
It was an internet scam, and he was just basically stealing money from people and using it to financing, buying these cars, taking these private jets, and wearing this high end stuff. See, people do dumb things like that just to look like they have it. But then you go to jail. Now you lost it all.
Lost it all.
So and we see that and we're like, man, yo, he doing it. Like we use that as motivational purposes. And the average person that's in the 1%, bro, they shop at Walmart. they at Target,
bro.
And that y'all gotta read the Wealth Choice because the Wealth Choice and Millionaire Next Door because they actually break down the numbers and they did studies and surveys. Everyday Millionaire Chris Hogan.
Okay.
So they break down the numbers. The average millionaire is in his upper 60s. The average millionaire lives in a house that's $300,000. They drive Chevys and Ford. They don't have
all these Maybachs and stuff.
Yeah, bro. That's. I mean, it's anomalies. It's not too common.
Because we got to realize, even with all the entertainers, all the celebrities and everything, with all of them being rich and everything, the ones that we know of, there's still a small percentage.
Yeah, very small.
The wealthy people, the ones that are really wealthy in the world. They're rich. Not taking them from them. They get way more money than I have at this point. But as far as wealth goes, they're a small percentage of the people that really have the money out here.
The people that are making 6-7 figures, they're not going to the Gucci store. They're not buying Lamborghinis or anything. They're dressed like how me and Ed are dressed right now.
Straight up, regular.
As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a story. I was still living in Roanoke Rapids. I was at an event for the radio station, and the guy that owns the Popeyes.
Okay.
He catered the event. He came. He was in a jumpsuit. Chicken. He had the flour stain on his thing.
Been working.
So we were just conversating, and this guy has 4 or 5 other restaurants. Now, if you want to own a fast food chain, you gotta have some money.
Yeah.
You gotta have at least $250,000.
Yeah, at least.
In assets.
Yeah.
And then you gotta have liquid. This man got 4 or 5 fast food restaurants.
That means his net worth is already dumb.
And these restaurants, they average at least on the high end at least a $900,000 to $1 million a year annually in revenue. So I'm here talking to a guy that got it, and he's in a suit. He in an overall with the flower stain on it. He working. He got money. He ain't got
to prove he got it because he got it.
Exactly. So they don't want that attention. So, and when you start doing your research and you start reading these books, you'll start seeing like these people, the 1%ers, they're very subtle. I know somebody, and she'll probably see this. So okay. shout out to Juju. She works with millionaires.
Okay.
And she me and her conversated. I asked her questions about how they how they move and stuff. So, I mean, they move totally different than what we see on social media and stuff like that. So, yeah, what y'all seeing, that's not the way. It's not the way at all. So, you have to change your mindset. You have to change your viewpoint, change your relationship on money, and you have to sacrifice. You have to be disciplined.
Man, we got almost an hour in, so, and we definitely gonna get you back. So,
man, I'm a regular, bro. Like,
yeah, you part of this.
Yeah,
you part of the Wealth Wednesday because you're one of the. I ain't gonna say one of the few. Well, I know some more entrepreneurs, but a lot of them might be through social media. You're one that I know I can get in touch with directly and get some good information that's useful. Because what we want to be is not just a source. We want to be a resource. We want to be able to, get some things for ourselves, but then be able to give you the game on how to get it. Because, there are not a lot of things that are out there to teach us what to do. They're really not. There are a lot of false images like we were just speaking of that show us this grandiose idea of what being successful is. We can bring it back to the basics. If you can pay your bills and have enough to live and eat off of, you're already successful. Yeah. Let me say it again. If you can pay your bills, food, clothing, and shelter, if you've attained those and are able to sustain those, you're already successful. Everything else is just building on top of that. But you have to learn to maintain those 3 first.
It always boils down to the basics and applying the core basic principles to what you're trying to accomplish. Like you said, success is not it's not tangible. Success is a lifestyle. Success is just constant action over and over. Will Smith put a video up on Instagram, and man, I felt this. He said, "We had a good day today. You line up all your good days. You fuck around and have a good life."
Whew.
I'll say, yo, that is a bar. That is a bar right there.
Whew.
And this was a few days ago, so it's clearly imprinted in my mind. I said that joint like I just seen it, you know. But he's right. Success is, I mean, you line up all your good days, you'll have a great life, and
So
that's
that
how.
means you have to be intentional within the day, each day.
And that's how I feel since I've been my own boss. My great days. I'm not even gonna say good. My great days.
Come on, man.
Definitely outweigh the bad. I don't even like. Somebody asked me when the last time you had a bad day. I said I don't even remember.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
You know, I mean, I go through things. I'm not gonna say I'm immune to things. Like I've gone through challenges and stuff like that. But it just rolls off the shoulders. Like man, it don't even affect me like it used to. You know.
Because a lot of our stress, and I'm gonna let you finish, but a lot of our stress I found out, or I can say even with me, when I thought about it, a lot of things I could do or couldn't do, or a lot of things I wanted or didn't want, a lot of it was tied to the fact that I got to get up in the morning and go to work. Mm-hmm. So I'm stressed about that and don't even realize I'm stressed because I'm trying to fit a lot of life into a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to fit a lot of life into a little bit of time. So I'm frustrated because I got to get up in the morning and go punch this clock. But like you said, you were able to work discipline, be disciplined, to the point where you can get up when you want to get up.
But see, like, and a lot of times things don't go as planned.
Right.
You know, like I said in the previous interview, when I left the radio station, 3 months later, I lost a client that helped me build up my savings. You know, so I'm here. I am. I'm literally with nothing. You know, I didn't have any gigs the rest of that year, but I had built up a nest egg. So I mean, I was good for the most part. When I was good. I was good. I wasn't stressed or anything like that. But it just goes to show you that things go left. You know, I didn't anticipate on, you know, within 90 days lose my main client after leaving the job. You know.
But the things you've done prior though, the prior preparation prevented poor performance.
Exactly. And so stacking my money and on, you know, each week stacking my money, stacking it. Taking 1 week, paying all my bills, then repeating that same cycle. So here I am now. I got 6-7 months. I got half a year saved up worth of expenses. Okay. So I'm good if anything does happen. And even now, I have a year worth of expenses saved up.
That's excellent. I always hear people talk about that, but I rarely run into people that actually can say, I have it. I have this, I'm not going to call it an emergency fund or whatever you need fund.
Yeah,
because exactly. You don't want to speak nothing bad into your life. You ain't gonna, don't be expecting emergencies. Yeah, they might happen, but don't speak as if one going to happen. Words do have power.
Yeah, it's just utilizing, taking advantage of the resources that, you know, that COVID has been a gift and a curse, but COVID has put me, like, I've never seen this much money. Like, I mean, my mom like, all you do is just look at your bank accounts. I'm like, use that money. I'm like, I am, but I just never.
You trying to get to a certain point.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to a certain point. So, and I reached a milestone with my business. I wanted to cover my rent. So, boom. Now it's covering all the bills. So now, as we reopen.
So you have a different stream to cover different bills.
So this the agency. I just want the agency to cover all my bills.
Okay.
And then anything like when we reopen DJing, that'll be.
Is your karaoke coming back?
Yeah. 2020, probably 2022.
Next year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I saw you post something about it though.
Yeah, I'm ready to get back active, but right now it's still on hold. I mean, I have some opportunities come up. So it might be here and there. It might not be anything consistent.
Okay.
But
it's not dead. It's still.
Oh no, it's coming back. I'm just patiently waiting.
That discipline, man.
Yeah,
it definitely trickles into all areas. I see just in your talking, like you're willing to be patient to. you know where you're trying to go, and you're willing to do the work to get to that point.
Yeah, like I said, just taking advantage, just being able to receive the COVID relief, opportunities. So that's put me in a position to where I'm like, okay, I don't have to.
You have to rush back to it.
Yeah, I don't have to rush back to it. So, but it's coming back. It depends. I can't go back to Applebee's until they lift the mask mandate, and who knows when that'll be. They're talking about a fourth wave. So, but I definitely want to venture into doing virtual events and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I've just been building my agency, just getting my clientele up, so that when we are back 100%,
sounds good.
I'm going to make some transitions. I'm looking to get an office space.
Okay.
I still want to hire somebody, like maybe 1 or 2 people.
Okay.
Yep. So that's still on the agenda. But I'm just being patient, not rushing it, letting it happen organically. And I think when you're trying to be financially literate and you're trying to be financially free, you have to be, like you said, intentional. You gotta be disciplined. You have to know where you're going. You got to have that I don't want to say end result, but you have to have that. You have to visualize.
You have a destination in mind.
What it looks like.
Right.
What I'm doing now. I've always had this in mind. I've always wanted to move how I wanted to move. When I look at guys like DJ Drama, Kid Capri, and Khaled, even on the business side, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. These guys run trillion dollar companies. Trillion dollar companies.
The value of trillions of dollars.
Yeah, and so they're able to move freely how they want to, and we can too. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That's what people have to understand. It's absolutely nothing wrong with saying I want to be able to wake up when I want to, and some of us say it, but we say it as if it's not possible. Like, mean it. You can actually, as you speak things and as you believe them, you'll actually start pulling yourself towards those things if you really mean what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Because you have to make it a part of your regular conversation. Don't just make it something you throw out there every once in a while. Talk about it often. Mm-hmm. That'll start placing you in places and in conversations, because people hear your conversation and start gravitating towards you. You'll start drawing in the people you need and not even realize it just by changing your conversation.
Yeah. And we have to change, like I always say, you have to change how you view things. Like, I told a couple people about getting an SBA loan when they was giving out checks left and right, bro. Like, everybody was getting approved.
Okay.
My homeboy did an application, he got approved, boom. They sent him his bread 2 days later, I took an SBA loan because I didn't want to use my money to build my business. And
if you know what to do with it, that's a smart move.
Yeah. I mean, the terms are, you couldn't pass up the terms. I mean, it was a 30-year term, 3.3% interest rate, payment $49.
Oh man!
If I can't pay $50 a month,
something wrong.
Something wrong with me.
Seriously wrong.
Yeah, so I'm taking that money and boom, investing in my ventures. So I didn't. That's what we do.
You blow a bag and try to get it back.
I'll blow a bag for my business.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with blowing a bag for your business. I'm not just gonna blow a bag and get nothing in return.
Just get fresh. Yeah, just get fresh just to get fresh.
It's not gonna do anything. Like, yeah, I blew through my STEMI, but my STEMI went to investing in certain things. So it, of course, it wasn't like I took my STEMI and bought some clothes. Nah, I took some of my STEMI, paid my credit card down because I'm trying to boost my credit score up some. And so we have to. We always start businesses on a shoestring budget, and so your biggest thing is marketing and branding, and so you have that costs a lot of money. So you have to figure out a way to utilize those resources so you can have money to pay for advertising. And we shy away from loans because of that word loan. We think, oh man, I gotta pay it back.
It's about leveraging the loan though.
Exactly. You take that money, you get $10,000-$15,000. You could do a lot with that with your business.
And what you get from what you put in place can pay the loan back.
Exactly. So you just utilizing your asset to pay back the loan, and it's only a small percentage.
And even better yet, depending on what asset you buy, you can get more money on top of that before you even have to pay anything back. It's just all about education. I wouldn't even try to go too intricate, but it's just about educating yourself.
Bro, right now I'm just positioning my agency to the point where what I have to pay back for the loan is not even 5%. I'm just trying to just position it to that point, and so that
just be taken care of.
I see it go out. I know where it's going, but it's like
it's such a small piece.
It's a small piece. Like, okay, take care of it. You know, because I'm shooting for 15K a month between both ventures, and paying $49 a month on an SBA loan like this.
Man, 15K, that's a little pebble.
That's nothing. So, and I'm being intentional with how to get to that 15K. I just been around people that make double figures monthly, and I see how it affects them. I see how they move and did different things, and so I always ask, okay, how can I get to this point, but still keep what I'm doing now? Okay, we know work hard. Yeah, you gotta work hard. You gotta put in the hours. My dad always tell me put in the hours. Okay, how many hours can I put in and still get? Like, I'm always inquiring and asking, and then experimenting and figuring it out. So I almost hit the 10K mark a few months ago.
Okay,
but I had to put in a lot of hours. So I'm like, okay, how can I get to that point? And so how can I work smarter and not have to trade in so much more of my time to be able to do 15 grand a month? What would that entail? What does that look like? So, and that's why I say you have to get your mindset together. You have
to even know that that's possible.
Yeah.
It's unattainable.
Some might see 15K in a year, you know, let alone when I started seeing people on YouTube, whether it's, you know, fake or whatever, when I started seeing them making 15, 20K a month, especially when they break down their YouTube earnings, I'm like, yo, these dudes doing, but of course they got hella views. But still, they're still bringing in.
Making it.
You can't Photoshop your YouTube dashboard. Yeah. You can't Photoshop that.
Some stuff you can't lie about.
So if I'm seeing them doing 28, 30K a month, and they just making videos, but it's like, you know, how long does it take to put that video together? Okay, so take them out maybe an hour.
So it's still some work.
Still some work, but how much work?
And it's work they enjoy doing. Exactly. Like you say, it might take a couple hours, but
yeah,
you put it up, then you get the rest of your day.
So if I'm doing 3 hours now, let me see. How can I be more effective in those 3 hours a day? How can I scale it back to 2 and still being more effective? And
eventually automate it.
Man, I'm floating around I'm floating around with some ideas, bro. Yes, I'm gonna work on my schedule this week because I definitely I might just take one day and just knock everything out for the week and have the rest of the week off.
Yeah, automate it, baby.
Yeah,
do what you want to do.
I'm definitely gonna be experimenting this month and next month going into the summertime because I hope we get a sundress season because I'm definitely trying to be outside.
Please. I'm asking, like, I might can send some in the Cash App. Just, you know, I got a couple dollars for the Cash App for the sundress. I ain't seen one yet, y'all. See that he trying to start me up on Be Good.
Okay.
I'm gonna be good a little bit.
Okay.
But no, I want to see some sundresses.
Yeah.
All right, we had a little technical difficulty. I'm going to try to wrap this up since I can't talk about my sundresses. Hey, look, don't go broke trying to show other broke people that you not broke. And we're going to get to wrap it up after that. Tell them one more time what you do, and we're going to get up out of here.
You know, we talked for a whole hour, and really you just summed it up with one sentence.
Simple as that.
It's simple.
It
is simple. Stop trying to buy the 1% lifestyle. You can't buy it. It's impossible to do so. So, focus on the basics. Start small, then grow gradually. You know, just like anything else.
Just like anything.
And take your time. You don't rush it, because like Nipsey said, rest in peace. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
It's a marathon.
You know, I'm a few years in. How long you been at it?
Man, as far as on the entrepreneurial side, I'm gonna just say 4 years.
Yeah, so
give or take.
We 4. This June will be 5 years.
Well, it's more than that, but
right.
As far as paperwork go.
Right. So, but even just on the financial literacy side of things, you know, I just started before I left the radio station. That was 5 years ago. You know, really just started, and it was stuff that I had learned growing up. I'm grateful for my parents, you know, showing me things growing up. So it's just kind of reiterated what they taught me. So a lot of times I'll call and tell them like, yeah, y'all told me this. You know, I was a teenager. So
it didn't soak in there, but now
yeah.
Now.
So now it makes sense now. So, but yeah, stop trying to look like you got it, you know, and actually have it. Because the people that have it, I'm telling you, they're not wearing that stuff.
They trying to stay low. They trying to stay low.
Real low key because, you know, cousins come out the woodworks apparently. So, but yeah, just be intentional. Just stay disciplined. You said what I do?
Yeah, just give them a rundown of your content management real quick and shout out your platform so they'll know where you at.
Yeah,
where to find you at.
You know what? I'm gonna shout out my ebook because I gotta say about the last interview, man.
Okay, come on with it. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I put it in the. Text me the all your info once we done. And
I got you.
I'll put it in the description.
You can hit me on Instagram, DJ321. Spell out the 2. I got ebooks out. How to Fire Your Boss. I give out tips on what I did to fire my boss leading up to it and also afterwards. So you want to start a podcast? Is my other ebook.
I did get that one. And how about that? He's on my podcast.
Yeah, and now I'm here. So I break down how to start a podcast. Basically, I go like in depth with creating a podcast, how many hosts you should have, type of equipment, things of that nature, how to monetize your podcast. So all that. If you hit the link in my bio on Instagram, it'll take you right to my ebooks, merchandise. I have a new line of merchandise that I have.
Is some of yours right there?
Yeah, but this was a test.
Okay.
So I switched fabrics.
Okay.
So I'm using.
So that's basically the logo or whatever.
Yeah. So they'll have this logo and then some Yo Karaoke stuff up there too.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah. So you can cop some of my merch. Yeah, man. TP Group, social media management agency, website content management. If you need me to maintain your website, manage your website, your social media, I can definitely take that off your hands and free up more of your time so you can focus on your business and live life. So, I have my information on my Instagram bio as well. And then, of course, DJ services. Yo Karaoke's coming back. Just playing, you know, whatever Roy Cooper in North Carolina say. whatever he, you know, lives
he
in.
decides, right.
Yeah, so, but I'm not in a rush. So I might just do some virtual parties to hold everything down till then. So, and then of course, man, I'll be back here probably next month.
I hope so, man. Yeah, we want to keep this going because it's powerful information. Well, look, man, I want to thank you again.
Yes, sir.
For coming through.
Yes, sir.
Always good. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep on being a resource for you as much as we can. Be helpful. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If this is valuable to you, we're gonna keep good content coming. Hit the subscribe button so you'll get them notifications and you get put on to all the free game. It's free game, y'all. We ain't even charging you yet. Hit the subscribe button. Y'all come back and